Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day number 271 in this war of the Russian invasion against Ukraine. 9:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:01 out in California, 4:01 a.m. in Ukraine. Tonight, very, very, very full update. Lots of, I guess I would call it random news that you put together that completes the whole picture. We're going to be talking about NATO, Belarus, Poland, the activity in Ukraine. We're going to be talking about Kherson, Kramatorsk, Kharkiv, electrical grid. It's just a plethora of information tonight. I do want to thank you for being here. Thank you to the mods. Thank you for your support. Supplies are still arriving. Had a shipment arrive today from Canada. It is here. It is in the storage and ready to be shipped out here very, very soon after Thanksgiving. Thank you, guys. There's still time. Hit the Amazon list. Hit the donate button. Do anything. We're getting a shipment together. It's going to be massive heading to Ukraine, and we're going to hand deliver it. So thank you, guys, as always, and much love to you all. With that said, here we go. Let's get the man in here, and I'll get him unmuted. Good morning to you, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Looking good there with the sweater on and the flag all lit up. So, Zhenya, welcome, my friend. I thought you were going to have to do this one alone. I was at the eye doctor all day. Didn't get the best of news, but we're working on some solutions. And got some cornea issue in this right eye. But we're going to get it solved, and it will not stop me from getting back over to Ukraine when I said I would. So, with that said, my friend, let's jump to it tonight. And we're going to start here with Belarus. A couple of stories. So on the graphic here, we've got Belarus circled in red. We've got an arrow drawn down around Ukraine to Rostov-on-Don, which would be in Russia. We have the blue line there, just a portion of the border between Belarus and Ukraine. Got a gold arrow pointing there, bottom left. Got an airplane. We're going to talk about Belarus for the first few moments of the program here. I'll give the update and get your opinion on it. November 9th through the 13th, SBU came out and stated they have proof, they have the inside information, of course, that Russia was rotating some missiles, rotating some armament out of Belarus and rotating it around. That's why the arrow was there to Rostov-on-Don. SBU said 20 Ilyushin-76 airplanes loaded with up to 70 missiles per plane were transferred. They transferred the equipment out of Belarus and they rotated it around to Rostov-on-Don on that arrow there. A couple of other things. Ukraine putting a border fence, and where is that? Right there on that blue line, 2 kilometers from the border. The area is mined. It is defending the border of Ukraine. The Russian military says, citizens, please don't even think about it. It's too dangerous. You can't go there. We're not holding you from our own sovereign territory, but we're defending our land. That's happening. Why? Belarus has started to relocate more of a leadership type of personnel down toward the border between Belarus and Ukraine. That's on the purple line there. So just a lot of provocation, whether it's equipment being shipped out or the border being strengthened on both sides. And finally, Institute for the Study of War and Great Britain both came out and said, be careful, watch out for this. It looks like Russia is planning to do some type of strike inside Belarus on their critical infrastructure to put the blame on Ukraine and get Belarus involved in the war. So, a lot there in about 2 or 3 minutes going on in Belarus. What do you know about any of those things that I just dropped on you and the community tonight?
Okay, I will start from the provocation. We were talking about that before, and President Zelensky were talking about that. And surely, I think there gonna be a provocation, and not just something small. It will be a big, something big event. And for all the Belarusian would get in a situation to not to have like option to ignore it. So and plus already a long time when the when there is Russians in the Belarusian.
Well, there you have it, folks. I've lost my man. You say, well, why is the light on behind him there? That's because that light is on battery. Very sorry, everybody, but what better illustration of the stream could I give you? The man's telling about Belarus, and that's called the power going out. No heat, no light, no power right now. I could close the stream right now, and that'd be enough for tonight. We'll see if power pops back on and he gets back in here. Let me finish his thought. Absolutely, there will be a provocation in Belarus because Russia has to spread this war out to get more help. They cannot win the war on the ground. They can only continue to strike through the air. So there will be a provocation. There will be something happening. This is not just the think tank Institute for the Study of War, but this is also Great Britain's intelligence saying, watch out for it. We see it coming. And we can see that Russia, they're going to expand their base and expand their provocations to keep this war going the way it is. And we can see with the new prime minister in Great Britain making the surprise visit to Kyiv, this guy's supporting. So we're very, very thankful for that. I'll continue to go. There's nothing else I can do. We've lost our man, and I'll get a message from him, hopefully for the stream ends, and you guys will know he's okay. With that said, let's keep moving tonight. And yeah, no problem. Looking down at Energodar, blue arrows pointing down toward Energodar. Of course, the nuclear symbol there. What is going on in Energodar? Well, Rosatom, which is the Russian nuclear agency, which is basically owned by Vladimir Putin, look it up, has continued to state that Ukraine is shelling the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant and asking the world to do something about it. What a joke. The International Atomic Energy Agency came out and says, sorry, it's Russia shelling the power plant there at Energodar. They are doing it. And the third logo there, Energoatom, which is the Ukrainian energy company, says, listen, we're not shelling our power plant, period. This is nothing more than a Russian provocation. And both, in fact, I could say it this way, to be quite honest with you, all three, Rosatom, the IAEA, and Energoatom said, listen, we are this close to a nuclear disaster. Something's going to happen, folks. It's not conspiracy theory, not trying to get clicks and views. It's just the way it is. Something is going to happen. A couple of other places I want to look at and draw your attention to tonight. First of all, Kharkiv is being shelled tonight. November the 21st here, November the 22nd over in Ukraine. Kharkiv is being shelled as well. Kherson is under constant shelling now. Kherson is under constant shelling now from Russia. And this is why. I think I hear him.
Hello. No electricity.
I know.
Wi-Fi is down. Internet is down. So it's okay.
It's okay. We got him back, everybody. We're happy.
Okay.
I guess you have a flashlight on you. I kept going.
Yes.
What else can I do?
Okay.
We're streaming and hitting it. So, yeah, I've already covered Belarus. I've already covered the provocations. I've now talked about Kharkiv being shelled. And now I've moved down to Kherson being shelled. And, of course, it's coming from Russia. In fact, we got this out of Kherson. And it's very difficult to get anything out of Kherson due to there is no infrastructure, there's no power, but this guy was able to get this video out. And check this out, Kherson today.
У місті Херсоні тільки-но пролунало 3 вибухи. Це були 3 прильоти. Я не скажу де. Чутно було дуже гучно, і тому всім закликаю, у кого є зв'язок, хто нас зараз дивиться, не нехтувати правилами безпеки. І будь ласка, бережіть себе, ховайтеся в укриття. Наразі ж яка ситуація у Херсоні? Тут немає сирен. Немає попереджень зовсім ніяких. Люди не знають, коли йдуть вибухи. Вони практично йдуть цілодобово, 24/7. І тому люди, в принципі, і не зважають на це, хоча ми знаємо на нашій практиці Київській області, що ховатися слід. Люди, в принципі, відповідально ставляться взагалі до всіх умов. В першу чергу відповідальними вони стають, коли мова порушується про комендантську годину. 7 і все, в місто зась. Це головне правило, ніхто не піде у місто.
So there you have it. I don't know what the best part of that video is, the guy telling us the truth about Kherson and to tell us it's getting difficult there, or the guy on the bicycle riding the wheelie there at the very end. He was very good on that bicycle. The bottom line is, Jacob, we talked about this when the retreat happened out of Kherson, the discovery of all the mines, the booby traps. Russia is not going to stop shelling Kherson.
And for them, it's a very symbolical place. It was the only regional center, the biggest city of Ukraine. They got in, let's say, without fight, and they were so proud of it, and they were making bad jokes. Okay, so Kherson is Russia, so the next is Kharkiv is coming, and the other is coming and coming. In reality, for them, it's a principle, and for people in Kherson as well, it's a sign, because I mean the Russian, especially on the media, they were mad seeing how happy people from Kherson are meeting Ukrainian military, and it was like, okay, it's over, because they were doing their video for that show, and then they got reality.
Well, even on the video we showed last night when we analyzed the propaganda, and they even showed the clip, Zelensky coming in, people with the flags, people with the flowers. That's what they expected. Of course, it's not going to happen because it's not Russia. It's Ukraine. Now, with that said, do not just take our words for it. We've been talking about this for a while, but let's roll it out to Podolyak. RF, standing for Russian Federation, began to systematically shell Kherson from the left bank. There is no military logic. They just want to take revenge on the locals. This is a huge war crime live. Has anyone seen the human rights statement yet? Or the UN human rights statement yet? Or the routine of Russian atrocities is no longer interesting. And we see that. We see where the story of this war sometimes begins to slow down, and that's why we do not slow down. We do not give up. The man sitting there tonight with no power. What else do you need? There are lots of testimonies coming out of Kherson right now of the atrocities, the torture. So many people were tortured electrically. They were screams, there were murders, and honestly, the videos, I'm not sure I could even show them in YouTube or Facebook, not take them down. It's the people telling how they were electrocuted, and very graphically. So I chose not to share it, but that's what's happening. It is terror in Kherson.
For Kherson, it says we've seen a statement. There is no a military strategic logic in that. So we already, I think it's already time to stop looking for the logic. I mean, from the military perspective, they yesterday and before, we've seen a lot of official positions of Russia. Let's destroy, I mean, all the possible things. Let's kill as much people we can. Let's destroy. Let's stop ambulances. Let's make for all people dying, kids dying. Let's make Ukraine to start negotiation. And so this is their logic. This is their military logic.
Yeah, it's I don't think we can use another word other than evil. A lot of these people that were tortured and electrocuted, we're talking 70-year-old men, 60-year-old men. No logic whatsoever. It wasn't a soldier you're trying to extract information from. It was somebody's grandfather, somebody's father. It was absolutely horrendous. So we will continue to watch. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there is, if we will take two sides, there is like a military sides, logic, honor, principles, and there is a civilians. So like according the, let's say, traditional, the honor, military honor way, people, I mean, the military cannot kill just civilians. It's a terrorism. If they would, I will explain you why, if they would judge it and condemn all the people in the military who are killing and destroying the killing civilians, that then we would separate the nation, Russian people, from their army, or the nation from let's say the commanders, including Putin. But if there is on the TV, on all the medias, in the public, all the public, let's say, fields, we do not see any condemnation for that. It means that in a society, the world society, all the countries, the same way, you don't need to look for the Russian military people in your city, and only then experiencing, okay, there is a threat. Sorry to let you know, but reality is, it's my personal opinion, the civilian, Russian civilian people, they supporting this situation. It's okay for them.
Mm-hmm.
It means these missionaries, sorry to use that word, I got back the light. These missionaries will be traveling and sowing this the message and this culture and their new Russian tradition, new Russian culture everywhere. The world needs to be, to pay attention to it.
Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that in just a moment on the culture. Let's jump over to Kramatorsk, way over in the east. Of course, this is a city that, to be quite honest, when we go east, we base in Kramatorsk. We stay in Kramatorsk. Or we go further and stay with friends. But when we're in that region, you can see there, guys, Kramatorsk is right in the middle of everything. That's where we base. It's hot over there as far as the battle lines pushing back and forth. I'll show you that in a moment. But I want to give you a human. Let's put a face to this. Here's a face in Kramatorsk, the city that we base out of and work on the east there. This lady, Lara Buzina, received facial injuries when two S-300 missiles hit her bedroom as she was sleeping at her home in Kramatorsk. Her husband, Valery, was also injured. You can see the home. You can see the little TV, the windows, the roof caved in. Folks, I'm sure. What is she? At least a lieutenant colonel in the Ukrainian military? She's got to be at least a lieutenant colonel. She might be a general. That's got to be a high level target there. And I'm, making light of it, but it's the reality. Just a lady and her husband in her home, probably had a TV show on, sleeping like a normal, well, maybe not no power, but typically would have. Next thing you know, S-300s are coming through the roof. It's ridiculous. Now, with that said, here, I'll let you talk about this one. Front lines pushing back and forth. We see Avdiivka, Toretsk. Of course, there is Bakhmut. And over on the left, you see Kramatorsk. And maybe you guys understand now why we base in Kramatorsk when we're working there. Lines are going back and forth. What are the battles like there? I know you showed a video a couple nights ago about just fighting in Bakhmut. It's ugly.
Yeah.
I got a video last night late of incendiary munitions raining down on Bakhmut, trying to burn it out, melt it. The phosphorus munitions which is illegal against civilians. What do you know on the east?
Mhm. So the Lugansk region, it's on that area. Our guys doing well, and we have some success. On the east side, and the Bakhmut, Avdiivka, that area, there is hard battles, and we see there is troops which moved from that area, but just the part from the Kherson area got there. For doing the reinforcement, but the main, according to information I have, the main part goes to Gulaipole area, which is Zaporozhye direction, let's say. And today, the people were posting, the local people, they were posting the videos with the convoys going through Melitopol toward Gulaipole direction. And I think the center will move to that area. Center of the fights.
I'm going to pull out a little bit here. Let me do this for us tonight. How about let's go this one. And I'm here, the border of Ukraine, southeastern border. You can see the Sea of Azov and what Zhenya is actually talking about here, and I'll show you. This is Donetsk here, and a lot of the battles happening along this line here. But he's saying that it's reported transports coming through Melitopol and pushing up for Gulaipole right here, because they're trying to make a real push here, because of course they would want Zaporozhye. That's the key city. Of course, here's Energodar nuclear power plant. And the point being here, if we can push up here, then we could somehow maybe trap out the Ukrainian soldiers here. So there is a push going on from the south up that direction, and the battles are constantly going back and forth on the line. So that's a zoom in there and a look at what he's talking about. Let's do this. Let me pull this over to here, and I'm going to make one statement and you give an answer here. Moldova, of course, soldiers are there on the east, Russian, that is, Transnistria region. That is the outline of it. I have Kishinev, the capital city, there in the blue circle. You can see Ukraine in the green. Came out today that Kishinev really is under a lot of, I guess I can call it an attack, but political destabilization. And it's happening from the Russian war machine, the Russian money, even down to the political people, TV stations, media. They're assaulting Moldova to try to break it down. And we have to remember there's at least 1,500 Russian soldiers there in the Transnistria holding that region. Do you know anything else about Moldova tonight? Why is this place important? Why is Moldova important?
Because it's a serious. We have a common border, and they have in Transnistria they have Russian forces there, so they want to destabilize. Plus, we're getting a lot of help from that area. Romania area. And I think with the situation with Moldova, they will have if they will have success there, getting control under Russia, they will cut much more our border on the south, and much more pressure will be created. But one thought I want to share: the situation with destabilizing in Moldova. I think we need to expect all the things the same in the European countries. We already, a few days ago, you may check, there were groups in Australia, pro-Russian groups supporting Russia. And I'm sure the money flow will help these voices.
Austria or Australia?
Australia.
Because we have quite a few Australian viewers. Wow.
Yes. You may check it. So I think the money flow will help, and we will see it. I think in Germany, in France, and Yeah, the places.
In case you guys are wondering, when you look at the map there, to the left of Moldova, where the map key says Ukraine, that's Romania. All of that region there is Romania. So a couple of small nations pop in on the Ukrainian border. What, Slovakia touches the border, and Hungary touches the border for a little bit. But other than that, it's basically Romania, Moldova, Poland, Belarus, and then, of course, Russia. So the destabilization continues. It's, wow, Australia. I thought you said Austria. It's not.
No, Australia.
Okay, here you go. Damaged electric infrastructure in Ukraine, and this is as of today, November the 21st or the November the 22nd. Folks, you can see it all throughout the country, from the northwest and Koval down to Lviv, and then just push east. All the orange lines are the high power transmission lines. And, well, you know, we wanted to share this tonight, and I don't think there was a better illustration of the power structure damage that we lost you for a few minutes of the stream.
Yeah, this is reality, and all the time people, I mean, when somebody comes and say, okay, should I mean, they joking, like, should I mean, check a luck, try a luck to not to stuck in an elevator?
So brings up a great question before we move on. That's the electrical grid. It's in trouble. People are trying to even avoid the lift when the power's going, because you never know. So at your place, I know the answer, but just say it. If you live on the 16th floor, if you had been in the elevator when that power went out, what happens?
Then it will be great, and it will be success moment if I will still have a charged battery in the phone, and this metal list of, I mean, the list of the metal of elevator will not block the signal. It's the first thing. The second, if I have, like, I mean, lucky with that, then I will try to reach some services. If not, I will try to do noise, you know.
So
and
yeah,
then
make a noise.
The question is, sorry, like, I need. It will be great if I got to toilet in the proper time before going outside.
Yes.
And it's great if I will have something, I mean, water to have with me, some water with me.
Yes.
That's important. And then I will need, if I did it, you know, I did connect to the services, then I will need to stay there with the hope it will not, I mean, it will not take more than 30 minutes. Because some days people were sitting in the lifts up to 2 hours.
The bottom line is for the world to know,
because there were lines.
People are getting stuck in elevators if they take the chance and the power goes off.
Yeah, so you can now, it's like, yeah, we getting, I mean, to be a more healthy nation, because the kids, teenagers, all the way, they don't use elevator.
16 flights of steps for you and your crew. Let's go here and let's talk about the great nation of Israel. Now, this is a quote directly from Eyal Hulata, who is the head of the Israeli National Security Council. Whatever Iran sends Russia, Ukraine should equally receive. Now, and he said that Israel would not block or stand against stronger munitions coming to Ukraine and making it a fair war. Now, please do not misunderstand. This does not mean that Israel is loading up an airplane and shipping stuff to Ukraine. That's not what that means. But this is a very good movement in the right direction. The more that Iran gets involved in this war, Israel will get involved somehow. And let me tell you something. That's a that's an ally you want on your side, is IDF, Israeli Defense Forces.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's good news.
It's good news, and I believe that in the future we will build a much closer relationship with Israel,
which is always good. Couple of last things here for the update tonight. We're going to pull it off without you losing more power, hopefully, and that is a couple of big things out of NATO today. NATO Parliamentary Assembly formally recognized Russia as a state sponsor of terror. Official recognition, NATO Parliamentary Assembly. As well, Zelensky spoke to them today via video. That was good. So we have good there, right? That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Now,
it's a good sign. We were expecting
sign.
it. It's reality.
So we have them declaring state sponsor of terror, which they are. But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
NATO's Secretary General Stoltenberg said today that the alliance does not intend to introduce a no-fly zone over Ukraine, so as not to become a party to the conflict. 11/21/2022. Sorry, NATO, you're already a party to the conflict, and Russia is directly fighting you through Ukraine. Ukraine's being squashed as electrically, that is, and infrastructurally and genocide as people are dying and losing their lives while Russia thinks they're fighting NATO. So on the same day, NATO says, yes, they are state sponsor of terror. It's the same day they says we're not going to close the skies, which is interesting. Let me give this one first, and we'll come back to the last little story there. On the same day, they said we're not going to close the skies. This guy here this morning, 9:58 a.m., November 21st. We only show you up to the date information, guys, here. From Poland. He says, and this is in Polish, we've already translated it. It says, we have no proof of anything that shows that Ukraine struck Poland. But even though we do not know, we cannot put the blame on Ukraine, and we will not, which is what we've said from the beginning. We stand by Zelensky and the Ukrainian military until they say it. It didn't happen. It was Russia. It's Russia regardless. He did come out and say patriots are being moved to the border to help defend NATO airspace. So, folks, it's just getting closer step by step. Patriots will be good.
I think the Patriots will be great. Please protect. I mean, I believe the NATO have to see the potential threat at least 100, maybe 200 kilometers from their borders to answer and stop possible attack in the right time. Not too late.
I have a question for you, and we try to give smiles for everybody. So when I get there after Christmas and you come get me in Warsaw and we get all our shipments that is heading over from this great community they've bought, I'm a United States taxpayer. So in reality, don't I own the Patriot as a part of our great nation? I wonder if we can pull up to one and say, excuse me, fellas, can you hook that to the van, please? It's American. We help pay for it with our taxes. So that would be a good idea. Jacob, as we close out tonight, I'm going to look at something interesting to close out. And that is, there are many, many similarities between Russia and Nazi Germany right now. If it would be very interesting to do a study and to show whether it be war tactics, ideologies, things that are happening inside the nation for the people, whether it had been Germans in World War II, Russians here in this war. But I want to show you something. A couple of pictures here. That is Joseph Goebbels. And you guys, as Zhenya would say, I'll quote him, look it up. The Third Reich Chamber of Culture. In German, it was called Reichskulturkammer. Chamber of Culture. The purpose of this was to teach the culture of the Third Reich and Nazi Germany to the German people. You may be asking tonight, okay, we're here for the update on Ukraine. We don't need a World War II lesson. Yes, you do, because it directly connects to what's happening in Russia today. I'm going to show the video, and then, Zhenya, get your thought on it. Here we go. Third Reich, World War II, and here's Russia, 2022.
Поэтому 21 ноября в Думе пройдет круглый стол, где будет объявлено о создании культурного фронта России. Принимаем кодекс чести деятелей культуры и объявляем об организации культурного фронта России, причем он будет собран не только из великих наших мастеров, из председателей всех творческих союзов, из таких имен, как Гергиев, Башмет, Михалков. Придет туда молодежь, консерваторцы из ВГИКа, ГИТИСа и так далее. И вот мы все объединяемся в одной общей идее служения Господу и России.
Ministering to, yeah. He says, ministering to God and to Russia. And
Folks,
if you combine it with the things we heard, it means the culture, they will recode their culture, their
ministering
nation.
to God and to Russia. They are creating a cultural ministry to push that culture through people. He said it's young people. The names he was listing there go back to the Soviet Union times, all the cinematography, all the arts, all the culture. We're going to push it. We're going to teach them for the tribute or the glory to God and to Russia. Folks, we're literally watching the Third Reich happen again in front of our eyes. Do not sleep on this stuff. I'm so glad he said the date. I'm not glad he's talking about that trash, but that was today in Moscow. It wasn't 3 months ago. Today. So that's why we have to keep going, bud. Well, I'm glad you held power for the rest of the time. And as always, we want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for everything. Shipments, they're coming in really hot right now for the support that we'll be sending over to Ukraine and distributing together. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, and I didn't share it with you. And this morning, we've sent the gas burners and the gas cans to one of the units we were working almost from the beginning, and they asked to thank you, all the people who support them. So thank you very much.
Would it be okay if you give a general region? Is this east, south, north?
Okay, it will go soon to Bakhmut area.
There you have it. And you get a message, guys. That's not just to Zhenya and myself. That's to you. You're the ones doing all of this. Our church, this great community. Thank you. And that comes straight from
Thank you.
Bakhmut area. You know what's really cool? I'm going to go to your solo cam now, which is right here. Don't move.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, move your head just a little bit to the right.
To the right.
Stop right there. Did you do that on purpose? Folks, if you're watching the stream tonight, do you see his flag over his shoulder and then the reflection of the flag on his refrigerator? Okay. Can you see it on your monitor there?
Yeah, I can.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Well, that is slick, man. That looks really, really good. And if you're watching on the stream, you can see his real flag there and then the reflection of it on his refrigerator there. That's very cool. So, all right. Well, thank you, bud.
Okay.
Much appreciated. Much love.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Rest well.
Okay.
Do not get any.
Good night.
Do not get any elevators. Yeah. Do not get any elevators. All right. A good night to all.
I will not. To all, a good night.